Hey, what's going on everyone? It's Dom from Lensprotogo and Lens Rentals, and welcome back to the channel. So right here next to me is me, but more importantly, it's the SmallHD Cine 24 4K high bright monitor, a cinema quality video monitor that SmallHD has suited specifically for professional users. So in this video, we're going to talk about some of those professional features like the 1350 nits of brightness, the full motion picture color gamut, and a whole bunch of other good stuff too, and even some stuff that's on the way. And hopefully after all that, I'm going to get this monitor hooked up outside and try to use it in a high brightness scenario like direct sunlight. But I don't know about that because it's snowy and terrible. So for now, let's just check this thing out. Okay, first things first, there are a couple of build things that I want to cover, the main one being how slim this monitor is. So if I just spin it to the side like this, you can see how slim profile this thing is. Most of it is less than 2 inches wide at its thinnest part up here, and still only a few inches as it gets toward the bottom where the mount is. That and the aluminum construction of this monitor give it a really friendly weight, and getting a Cine 24 built up is very easy. It's got this really firm top handle for lifting it up, and also notice these cheese plates on each side for mounting accessories. It can be mounted on a C-stand using this jointed mount here, and it's also got these nice slim tabletop feet. So a lot of minimal design choices went into making this monitor, which always results in this sort of clean look. Taking a closer look at the back of this monitor, one thing I want to point out is this dovetail mounting rack that goes along the middle for attaching accessories. For instance, the dual battery bracket attachment, which I actually don't have with me in this kit, but it looks a little something like this, and also any other accessories commonly paired up with a reference monitor, like a wireless video receiver, and you can easily slide either one of those accessories up and down this track if they aren't jiving with each other. And just below that is the section for all those inputs and outputs. Right here are your 4 12G SDI video inputs, and the same on the bottom. 4 12G SDI connections, but for video output. Over here, there's one HDMI 2.0, and the same thing for output, like the hardware is there, but on their website, they say HDMI 2.0 output is still a feature coming soon. Anyways, next to that are 2 RJ45 jacks for Ethernet and GPI, and next to that is a 3-pin XLR for the AC adapter or that dual battery attachment. You also get one USB 2.0 port and one USB-C, and above each of those USBs are 2 2-pin LEMO DC ports for running power to accessories, most likely like a Teradek. And it's a little hard to see, but behind this mounting bracket right here is a large cooling fan for the center of that inputs and outputs panel. Quickly jumping to the front again, I want to point out these physical buttons, which are great for navigating the menus since this is not a touchscreen monitor. And it's got 8 assignable buttons here too for creating shortcuts to a certain source or even a certain monitoring tool like false color, focus peaking, or your scopes. Okay, so for the screen itself, this is an IPS LCD screen build, IPS meaning in-panel switching, which is a really cool technology, but it's a little in-depth, so you can research that on your own if you want. But basically the problem that tackles is the shallow viewing angle that other screen builds have, like OLEDs for example, where it's really only optimal to view from a certain angle. Even standing like right here where I'm practically right next to the monitor, it's still reading really true and none of the exposure or brightness seems to fall off anywhere. So that's the sort of thing that they're talking about. So the Cine 24 is going to be a lot more dependable in that way. This is a side illuminated LED screen, and the exact display size is 24 inches from diagonal to diagonal, leaving only about an inch or so of housing towards the edges. All right, here's the juicy stuff. This thing gets bright. So 1350 nits of max brightness, and this is the amount that's considered acceptable for bright viewing conditions. But when you use that highest backlit setting, it does give you a warning that the color rendition will be compromised. And I did notice that the monitor green shifts a little bit, as well as losing some apparent contrast when in this mode. But when I take this outside, actually it doesn't look like I'll be taking it outside, when I replicate a high brightness shoot later on, we'll see exactly why that's needed. Now that we're in the more reasonable backlit setting on studio, we're back to our full color gamut. The Cine 24 being capable of the full DCI P3 RGB color gamut, which is considered the motion picture standard. So I'm pretty confident that even with the right out of the box calibration, you could judge skin tones off this monitor pretty well. All right, so you've got a bit of a sneak peek at the operating system already, but this is SmallHD's newest Page OS 4, and it's very intuitive. And if I own this monitor, I would customize it really thoroughly because it allows for that. You get the same monitoring tools as before and even some cool new ones, but unfortunately, 4-camera multi-view via SDI is still one of those features that's coming down the line, even though I know that's something that a lot of people want in their client/program monitors. And I'm not really sure what the holdup is there because all the hardware and software is there. Those 12G SDI ports are in the back, and the small 4K video processing that's built into this monitor is supposedly capable of that too. So originally the plan was to get this monitor outside in the direct sunlight, to get it on that max brightness mode to really see what it could do with in those conditions. But unfortunately, it's not even bright outside. It's extremely dreary and overcast and rainy. So what I think I'm gonna do is sort of replicate a high brightness shooting scenario right here in the studio to see how this high brightness mode of this monitor keeps up with it. All right, so awesome. The sun unexpectedly sort of came out, which is great because I really wanted to do this test in an actual like sunlight scenario rather than just like replicating it. So we don't have total direct sunlight right now. I know you probably can't see that, but it's like a little half overcast, sun's kind of poking through. But anyways, I've got the Cine 24 all set up and I've got it obviously pointed away and down from the sun. But honestly, afterwards, I kind of want to flip it around and literally just face the sun just to see how well it's able to counter that light. So there's your 48 nits level cinema brightness. We'll go up to studio brightness, which should be about 100. That got us a little something. Let's go up to the standard range. Standard actually is doing pretty well in the sunlight, but we're not even at max yet. So let's go to max. And that's gonna give me that calibration in disabled. It's gonna give me that notification right there. But let me take a step back now. So I just stopped down to like f16. So as you can tell, that's like a decent exposure for everything else. But anyways, I think you can generally pretty much tell how this 1350 nits setting is doing right here. So I literally just did the worst possible thing you can do to a video monitor is point it directly at the sun. But in this max brightness 1350 nits setting, like look at how well it's doing. All right, everybody, that's pretty much gonna wrap up this video overviewing the SmallHD Cine 24 4K high bright monitor. So as always, if you have any questions or insights about this monitor, or if you just watched that whole video and you're asking yourself, why would I use that thing over my awesome Sumo 19 or Flanders Scientific monitor? Well, if you said that, I wanna hear about it, so drop a comment in the comment section and we'll start a discussion. Also, if you happen to like this video, hit it with the thumbs up button down below to let me know you liked it, and if you're not already, subscribe to the channel, and that way you'll be in the loop whenever we post new content, which is every week. So take care, and we'll see you in the next one.